My name is Isaiah Posey. I was born in Washington, D.C. I was raised in PG County. My twin brother and I, we were adopted at 2 months. Our original birth parents were on drugs, so to speak, which of course made them unfit to care for us. We were adopted by 2 people. Life wasn't always easy, but I'm not going to necessarily say it was definitely hard. There was a lot of bumps that were hit. As a young child, I didn't always have my dad at home. And my mother, who was a stay-at-home mom at the time, she wasn't always the best mother, so to speak. She was abusive at times. We would do something wrong that could necessarily be forgiven. She would go overboard and make us do obscene things that I don't want to mention, but there are things that I can't necessarily get out of my mind or forget. My parents ended up getting a divorce when I was around 9. I ended up moving around a lot at that point. My dad is a sort of a hypocrite, I guess, but I'm not going to say that he didn't teach me and my brother a lot of things. I will say that he taught us, I'll say I learned from his mistakes, which a lot of parents like to say, but I learned from the mistakes he did make while he was there. The story that I have that really developed me into the person that I am today is something that I think about every day. It's like one of those things where you're like, something I wish I would have said, but I didn't say. But even now that it kind of drives me to do the things that I know I want to do and stand up for the things that I believe in. It was when I was in 10th grade. I was figuring out what sexuality was, or who I was and what my sexuality was. I had a friend who passed away. She got sick over the summer of our 9th grade going into 10th. And I found out that year. We used to date as well, because she, turned out she was bisexual. And even as I was growing up, and even when I was dating her back then, I was like, kissing girls is ew, it's nasty. But it was something I was experimenting, of course, but I was in 5th grade? My stepmother had moved into our home in PG County from California, and she wasn't very caring towards my brother and I. At times I became apprehensive to talk to her or go near her because she would be very standoffish towards my brother and I. My dad wasn't there to do anything for that. I guess he was he wasn't very cognizant of anything that was going on around him that had to do with my brother and I in regards to our stepmother. I remember one day I came home and my stepmother just randomly asked me, am I gay? And of course I told her no, because I was caught off guard by her questioning altogether. She asked me a couple more times. She got deeper into the questions, of course, a lot of parents ask in regards to, are you gay? What do you like about being gay? But of course, in my head at the time, I was like, I'm not going to ask you, what do you like about being straight? I mean, it's just, it was taken aback. She continued to ask, and she tried to be all warming towards me. And of course, I started to open up, and I guess I fell for it. And I told her, yes, I am gay. Of course, I didn't delve any deeper with her, but she seemed like she was okay with it and it seemed like everything was fine. The very next day I got in the house and she starts yelling at me. She starts talking about the Bible. She starts belittling me, my character, my whole personality, my whole being of life and my reason to live altogether. The Adam and Eve and Adam and Steve, and she just didn't want me to be who I was. And it wasn't even just that, point about my sexuality. It was all throughout living with her, having her live with us. I wanted to play tennis, and I did play tennis for a short while, but she would always be like, why are you playing tennis? You're not good at anything, which would always make me feel like I was less than nothing. And even then, of course, I'm not disrespectful to my elders or my adults that are around me, taking care of me. So, of course, I had never had anything to say, and I would hear from my friends, why don't you stand up to her? She's not your mother, But I was like, but she sort of kind of takes care of me. My dad would say that, oh, I only married her because of you guys. But we all know the real reason why he married her. But no, after that, after moving out and everything, I always think about moments like that, or moments of abuse when I was younger, where I didn't have any control over anything that was going on. As I got older, going into adulthood, and with the phrase going into adulthood, I wouldn't necessarily have to say that was around 16 already. I shouldn't have had to do a lot of adult things and make a lot of adult choices, but unfortunately I did. So I eventually moved out of my family's household. I was technically homeless at that point. I was 18. I hadn't finished high school yet. My mother had just dropped me off in the middle of nowhere, and I kind of had nowhere to turn. And then they were somewhere I was able to turn. But whilst living there, I felt as though I didn't really have a purpose. I was always asked to do other things, even though I knew what I needed to do in order to accomplish something out of life, or to, in order to go to school, go to college, have a job. But I was always asked of so much for someone who knew that they had so little. I would definitely say it's my lowest point due to the fact of how I felt during that time. Their mom wasn't always so caring. She always had these the assumptions of my character, what I would do, who I was, things about my family that I necessarily didn't want to talk about. But she did push me a lot. I will say that. Sometimes she was always pushing me my buttons more than pushing my character to do things that I needed to do. Their dad, on the other hand, he was just a whole nother story. But I will say, luckily they had children, because their children helped me more than they did. It was just a lot. I didn't think I was gonna get anywhere when I was there. I really thought I was gonna kill myself. Be completely honest, in all seriousness, I was just so sad because I thought I was gonna accomplish nothing. I felt as though every time someone had to tell me to do something, I was like, okay, either I didn't think of it myself beforehand, or that no one realizes that I have nothing and I need to work towards something. There was a lot of people in my life during that time period, but there's certain people I will make certain notes about. Ronald, Richard, Richard, Dominique the most though, all a part of the Williams family. But they were always, pushing me towards a goal. They always welcomed me with open arms. They were always there to help when I really needed it, especially when I was trying to get into college. I will say that was kind of the most difficult moment of all. If I didn't have Dominique pushing me every day or telling me what I need to go do or go get, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I probably didn't know. I didn't know anything about it. I was like, college, what is that? Student loans, what is that? Financial aid, definitely, what is that? I didn't know anything, but I had a lot of hope at that time. Eventually, I ended up graduating high school. I moved on to college. First semester wasn't great. Second semester got even worse. But it was an experience nevertheless. But after my college experience, I did realize that I wasn't done with school. I do still have aspirations for school. Even so that I'm going to end up changing my major to Health and Human Services. But the aspect about family, it has definitely changed for me a lot. Family is definitely what you make it, as most will say. I have a lot of friends, and my friends have sort of become my family. I definitely do have a second family as well, but I guess wherever I go, I end up finding family. They may not definitely be paternal, or they may not definitely be blood, but I do consider my friends my family. My life's purpose, it's not going to be anything cheesy like get back to the world or anything, but it's to just live it. And I mean that in a way of not being very simple or anything, but do what I feel like I have to do to feel like I do have a purpose. And in the ways of living life, it means explore, have fun, be serious at times you need to be serious, but do something that makes you feel like you belong somewhere. And for me personally, it's kind of like a big thing because I probably wouldn't be working where I was if I didn't like it, and I think that's for like everyone. I like to try new things due to the fact that I'm the type of person who I don't mind change. So when it comes around, I'm prepared due to the fact that I'm ready for something new, or I don't mind something new. What I'm doing now to achieve my own happiness, like I said, living life. At the moment, I'm working towards becoming a supervisor at my job. I love work because mainly it's not the people, but it's just the things that I do at work. I guess I find myself taking control at work. What I like about working is the baristas. I only go to work to see my friends. They make work fun. Getting into adulthood now, I kind of do realize a lot of things that I am able to do and turn around. My twin brother and my niece are people that I look to in times of need. Mostly my niece, and she's younger than me, and that's crazy for I guess a lot of people to hear, but like she is kind of my like reason to live, I guess. She inspires me because she's so smart, and I know that she can do a lot. She calls upon me when she needs help with anything really, and I guess I never really thought that I would have that. I can have regular conversations with her as if she was 20 years old, which is kind of weird because she's 14, but she knows anything and everything that you ask her. Currently, I am working on going back to school, and I'm going to end up changing my major to social and human services due to a lot of things that I've been seeing in prior news. What I would definitely tell someone that was in my shoes, where I was specifically this time last year, I would definitely say ask for help when you need it. Don't be scared to ask for it, especially because there are going to be times where you definitely need the help and you don't want to be doing it alone. If you know there's something that you want to do your best to try to reach the goal in order to get to, the goal to the end of the rainbow. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But help is my biggest thing that I would not ask for. I really don't have any other advice but that. But also just working towards your goals. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, a lot of distractions. But keeping your head focused and making sure you get that help, like I've been saying, which will definitely help a lot. My name is Isaiah Posey, and I am me.
I told you that I love you. You know I never lie. Maybe once or twice. Can't find a better guy. Realize inside I ride.
Experiences within my childhood that have made me who I am today would definitely be the homelessness that me and my mother experienced. I would say that has put me on the path of trying to create a sense of like ultimate stability. And that is something that I think about within everything.